families. So I've taken my kids out for a bike ride to get a little bit of exercise. I'm out for a walk, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit about travel without sidewalks. So I live in a very small subdivision, and we don't have any sidewalks in our neighborhood. In fact, we don't even have any plus-shaped intersections. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you travel in this kind of a situation. It's a little bit more challenging, so there's some different techniques. So before we left on emergency shutdown, I grabbed my telescopic cane that I use for demonstration. So your cane for your student probably looks different than my cane. My cane is all white and it has kind of a marshmallow tip. So we want to make sure that we're always walking on the left side of the road if at all possible. So this allows traffic to see us better and for us to be able to use our ears in the most efficient way possible. So we are going to walk on the left side of the road, and we're going to start by shorelining this grass line. So as we walk, we are going to keep our cane in step, one tap on the grass and then one right outside our right shoulder on the cement. So if your streets are gravel or dirt, so this would just be one on the grass and then one outside your right shoulder on the gravel or the dirt. So we're just going to walk, and I'm going to try to not make this video jiggly if at all possible. So a nice light touch in this situation is very helpful so that we don't get stuck. If your cane tips get too hard, you start to get stuck in the grass, and you can start to make the grip of your cane hit your stomach, which can be very uncomfortable. So we're going to continue through here. Okay. Here we have a drain vent. If you encounter this, it's not a big deal. It is sometimes very startling to students as they're expecting cement or grass and they encounter a metal hollow sounding object. So my students are typically pretty familiar with this, but it is always startling when you're anticipating one surface and find another one. Hey Madeline. So we're just going to continue our walk. So we're just going to continue straight lines. So sometimes being able to keep track of our orientation is a little bit more challenging because we don't have concrete landmarks like we do in travel with sidewalks. So as we continue, we can feel the sun on our face. It's a nice warm day. If you have any traffic, the traffic sounds are helpful for being able to maintain orientation. So here we have a driveway. So the difference, being able to tell the difference between a driveway and a street is the drastic level of the difference between the grass and the driveway. So in this case, it's a very sharp turn. We know that we would not expect this kind of right angle. If it was a street, we'd expect a more gradual surrounding slope. So if the driveway is gravel, that will be a different sensation under the cane tip, and it will make a different sound. If this is a dirt road, it's the same process. We would still expect to have a right-ish angle, not a gradual slope. So we're just going to go past, okay, and we're going to project a straight line. We're going to think about how it feels to go straight and to walk straight. And here our sound has changed. We're past the driveway. So one of my neighbors has parked in the street. If this happens, it's not a big deal. Your student typically encounters the vehicle with their cane, okay? And then we are going to go around it, which means that we are going to shoreline around this vehicle on 3 sides. So we need to continue to count. So we're going to shoreline 1, make our turn, 2. Okay, we want to be careful of this side mirror. If your child is younger or shorter, they don't want to take this in the face. That's very startling. So you're going to put our hand up to protect our face. It's called upper protection. Okay, you're going to make our 3rd turn. Once we encounter the grass or the gravel, again, we know we've gotten all the way around it, and we need to continue to walk straight. So we're going to continue past. Here we have another driveway. We know because of the right angle of the grass and the street. So our neighborhood has a lot of oak leaves, and oak leaves usually don't fall until any place between December and February. So there's still a lot on the ground. If your child is encountering grass, dirt, leaves, if it snows again, snow, we can implement what's called a touch and drag technique. So we'll tap on the grass, and if you can't determine if you're on grass or cement, we're going to push with our cane tip underneath until we can be able to determine if that's grass or if that's cement. So you can also do it with the leaves. Can't really tell here. You can dig under it until you can feel that cement, and this is what it would look like in practice. Touch, dig, touch, dig, touch, dig, touch, dig, touch, dig, touch, dig, touch, dig. So it's really just a 2-point touch technique that we've modified to be able to get under whatever surface is obscuring us from being able to determine if we're in the street, on the cement or gravel, and the grass shoreline. So we're going to continue as we come up to a T-shaped intersection. Just keeping that nice, light cane tip. So the sun is on my face, on the left cheek of my face, and we're going to slowly feel the sun move, and our shoreline is going to start to get farther away from us. We're going to have to start to be able to turn our bodies and get closer to it to be able to contact it. So going all the way around the corner until we no longer have to adjust our bodies to stay next to the curb or your shoreline. Helps us when we are going to cross the street so that we don't veer into our parallel. As we don't have any parallel traffic here, it's easy to veer into our parallel and become lost. So we're going to indent, go all the way around that corner. We're going to put the heels of our shoes right up against the curb or the grass line so that we are square. We're going to listen for the absence of traffic. Okay, if your student has vision, make sure that they're checking all directions for vehicles. Okay, now that we know there's no traffic, we're going to go ahead and cross. Till we get to the other side. In this case, we are now walking down a street that doesn't have gutters or curbs. So the process is really still the same. We're just going to continue to do a light 2-point touch, one on the grass line and one on the street. Okay, so now I can feel the sun behind me on the back of my head. It's going to help me be able to maintain orientation. Okay. Also knowing where our bodies are in space, our proprioception helps us to know if our body is turning and making gradual changes to be able to help us maintain. Travel without sidewalks is much more difficult and takes a lot more time and attention, but it's nice to be able to get out and be able to walk in a variety of areas so that you can expand your travel environments. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.